everyone, this is Aries Moon Girl, and this is another unusual great match in astrology, a compatibility that we're gonna analyze today, and that is Pisces and Sagittarius. This one is a particularly emotional one for me. I think I started crying 3 times before I did this video, but I want to get it out there. For all of those of you that know a bit about my channel, you might see me mention in some other videos that my ex-husband is a Sagittarius, so it might put it into context why it feels a bit more emotional. But actually, I want to talk about this compatibility because it's such a beautiful, it's what dreams are made of, what fairy tales are made of. So without further blabbering, without further ado, going into it. Okay, so Sagittarius and Pisces. This is one of the combination that comes into a square. So usually squares are not easy combinations because they kind of rub each other the wrong way or the good way. They take things out in the other. This time it's not entirely like that, because when you have a planet that kind of rules both signs, and in this case that planet is Jupiter, you have a lot more common traits. So you have things that you have in common for both signs, like the love of no boundaries, of thinking everything is possible, of going beyond what the eye can see, of searching for more, of loving freedom, loving joy, loving pleasure, loving just loving life and loving dreams and loving expansion. Loving expansion. These are 2 signs that definitely cannot be boxed in. Okay, so Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, as I mentioned before, and it is the sign that really seeks truth, seeks experiences, seeks to understand the world, seeks to keep an open mind and experience as much of the world as you can. It's a sign of knowledge, it's a sign of freedom, it's a sign of joy, just pure joy and enjoying the world, but at the same time gathering wisdom and understanding more and more. So one thing which I truly love about Sagittarius, and maybe that's my Jupiter side, it's that open mind that thinks everything is possible and is willing to try a lot of things, and is willing to understand different types of people, different types of cultures, is willing to experience things, is willing to dare to go on an adventure or to conquer its fears. It's always expanding. So that's the definition of Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion, and it's expansion in the case of Sagittarius of knowledge and understanding of the worldly things, and with Pisces is more of an expansion of the ego, actually more of an expansion of the spirit, and it's becoming a bit more esoteric, but it's actually the same type of thing, just taken at a more spiritual level. So Sagittarius just explores everything in the world. Sagittarius, that they have this childlike heart that likes to play and likes to explore, and that never gets really old or never gets really dull or boring, or yeah, never loses that optimism, which is really characteristic of a Sagittarius. Sagittarius always looks on the bright side of life. Even if they have down moments, they will always come back and look at the bright side and look at how much there still is to explore in this world, and how much there is still to live and to learn about, and to love, and to enjoy, and to, yeah, to celebrate. And then Pisces. Pisces is a sign that's a bit more frail. It's a sign that's it's a water sign. It's also looking for the truth, but in a very different way. They might not even know that they are looking for the truth. They are looking to feel or understand everything around them through at a meta level. So where Sagittarius comes in with 10 books with concrete facts, Pisces might tell you, okay, I feel that this is what's happening around us. And Sagittarius might confirm that and say, oh yeah, I read in my 10 books, this is what's happening around us. So Pisces is searching for the truth in a more esoteric way, like, for example, this astrology channel. And is searching to also kind of encompass the whole world. Pisces also loves freedom, loves different cultures, loves different people, accepts different people. Both of these signs are not really judgmental at heart, even if they happen to come into a situation. They like variety, they like new people, they like new experiences, they like the beautiful things in life, they like exploring them, they like yeah, they like loving life, loving different types of experiences and different types of people, and they like learning through different ways, as I said, but learning through those experiences. So there are many similarities that come from Pisces and Sagittarius, but then of course Pisces is a bit more out of touch with the world. Sagittarius can also be through sometimes just letting go and partying too much or going into an excess, but Pisces is a bit out of this world, and but they both are so idealistic in a way that they both still believe in fairy tales in very different ways, but they both still believe in that happy ending. They both still believe in, yeah, in dreams. I still believe. Yeah, both believers. Jupiter is a believer, so that's where it comes from. Okay, so how is the relationship between the two? Well, the first time when I thought about it, I thought of the analogy of Peter Pan and Wendy. And then I thought, you know, how he takes her into a magic land, magic world, and she trusts him and she goes along, and it's an adventure. Wendy seems a bit more shy. That could be the Pisces in this relationship, but it's about exploring and trusting each other to explore that. It's like two kids lost in an amusement park, where one of them is a bit more courageous and kind of takes the lead, or is like, yeah, we can do this, and the other one seems a bit more shy. But at the moments where the other one is lost, the Pisces comes in and says a wise thing, or says, oh yeah, we're gonna make it, we're in this together. I was also thinking of Aladdin when he takes Jasmine on the magic carpet, and he's like, do you trust me? And she steps on, and then the song of the whole new world starts. There's definitely a fairy tale component to this relationship, and it's that exploring, like two kids that have no ulterior motive, nothing but, yeah, but joy in life, and in being together, and having fun, in just being genuinely happy and optimistic, and believing in the happy end, believing in the dream, in just wanting to experience things and be happy together. That's the beautiful part about these signs. Of course, because they are two mutable signs and also ruled by Jupiter with no boundaries. So codependency could be an issue. Addictions can be an issue. on both sides, things that have to do with exactly that lack of boundaries. But on the other hand, you have to understand that this world is not entirely made for Sagittarius and Pisces. It's not entirely made for someone that's that optimistic and believes so much in the good of people and is so open-hearted and boundaryless. So in each other, they kind of find that the other person that can do that, and they can go on an adventure with, you know, where any other sign would say, oh, this is not for us, or it's not possible. Here is where they say, oh no, everything is possible, the world is possible, anything is possible, let's do this, let's do that, let's do everything, we'll make it together. And sometimes it's a bit too optimistic and there's no one there to ground them. Although I would say that many times Sagittarius is the one that kind of grounds them a bit more, because they are a bit more based on reality than Pisces. But then Pisces kind of grounds with the wisdom at the important points. So Sagittarius takes the lead and kind of takes them on the path, and it's a bit more courageous to walk through the world. And Pisces is there to support when Sagittarius loses their optimism, maybe for a second, or maybe they lose their direction, and then Pisces says, the more quiet Pisces has a direction also, or has an observation, or has a way of solving things through art, through something more spiritual, through going to the next level. And also Sagittarius is usually interested in spirituality, although many of them wouldn't approach this subject straight on. They would go about it through knowledge, not necessarily through spirituality. But Pisces kind of sometimes has a lot of the answers that Sagittarius is looking for, maybe in knowledge, in books, in all of this, and Pisces kind of has them more intuitively. So in the end, Sagittarius kind of learns to appreciate this in a Pisces, while Pisces, of course, appreciates the knowledge and the courage, and especially the open-heartedness. I think this is something that they both appreciate in each other, and the optimism that they don't let others kill. So it really feels like this combination it's like two kids lost in an amusement park, that where the Sagittarius is carrying the Pisces along. They go from one ride to the other and buy ice cream and eat all they can and fall asleep full of sugar and all of this. And you're like, oh, but who would leave two kids in an amusement park? And this is where it can go a bit wrong. From the point of view that they both don't have these set limits. They both think everything is possible. So there's not a grown-up there, or a proper grown-up to say, oh, no, this is how you do it. No, of course, there's energies in both charts. You can have Taurus energy, you could have Virgo energy, you can have Capricorn energy, and that grounds you and that changes you. But I'm talking about the pure sun sign. So there's no grown up there saying, no, this is how we do it. We need to put it back in the box now. We need to be well behaved. We need to not be too adventurous. We need to not eat all the ice cream. We need to not spend the whole day at the amusement park. But who wouldn't like to live in a fairy tale? Who wouldn't like to, like in another a cartoon, in another fairy tale, like Mary Poppins transitions then in the cartoon and lives there for a day? That's kind of how their life is. So it's really beautiful, and they can accomplish so much, because when there's no boundaries in your mind, there's a lot more that they can do, and they kind of encourage themselves, encourage each other to not be limited in what they want, and not be limited in what they dream of. So not be limited in what they think of, not be limited in what they go after. So of course, as I said, there's many other areas where you feel like, okay, someone would need to ground them a bit more. But it's such a, it has to do with dreams. No one wants to wake you up from a magic dream, from a beautiful dream. So this combination is not a combination made for rules. It's not a combination made for very pragmatic reasons. It's a combination made for, yeah, really believing in magic, believing in dreams, believing in fairy tales, seeking wisdom, seeking knowledge, exploring more, going beyond your limits, and yeah, just dreaming your life away. So these are the positive sides and the positive traits of the Sagittarius-Pisces combination. If you have had this experience, comment down below and let me know. I'm sorry I got a bit more emotional. As I said, this is one of the closest to my heart, and I still am moved by the purity and the beauty of this connection in general. I also have a lot of Sagittarius friends, and I feel the same. I have the same sense of adventure and everything. It's possible. So I know this from all the Sagittarius energy around me, and I really believe that this is such a magical combination. And if you're lucky to live it in this lifetime, then just enjoy it. Until next time, I'm Aries Moon Girl. I care about the stars, but most of all, I care about you, and that's why I do these videos.